I have here two images of a sample that were taken at two time points, at T0 and 24 hours after that. So the purpose here is I would like to see how cells grow in this 24-hour period. And I can load this configure stock into MorphoGraphX by drag and drop. And here you have the simple. The important thing to do is to check the orientation of the stock of the sample here within the software. So here you see that when I press the key A, you will have the visualization of three axes, X, Y, and Z. So the important thing is the Z here must point to the surface, the outermost surface of the sample. So for example, here I would like to detect the surface at this side and not this side. So the Z axis must point to this side. So in MorphoGraphX, you can manipulate this stock so that it has a correct the correct orientation. So you move to the process, stock, and canvas. So here you have revert axis, and here you have parameters. So you would like to reverse the Z axis alone, not X, Y. So you have here no for X, no for Y, and yes for Z. And then you press the green run button. Here you see that now the Z axis is correct. So now we can go to main to see what happened. To see that at the beginning we have here the stock one main, tick here, and now we have work, and you see that the color has changed. So basically MorphoGraphX, it doesn't work with our original stock, but every single manipulation you do with original stock, it will create a copy of the original stock and put it in the work stock. So if you click on the main here, you see the original stock in green, and it has a reverse orientation compared to the work stock here. Yeah. So now we are working with work stock. But here, because when you create a mesh, the original stock will be used to project a signal to the mesh, so that you need to actually copy the work stock to the original stock now. So here we go to multi-stock, copy work to main stock. Yeah. So now the work stock and the main stock are the same, and it has correct orientation. And this is very important because later on we will project the main stock signal to the mesh, and if we do not do the copy work to main stock step, it will project the original stock, which is reversed in orientation to the mesh, and to have a very messy signal, a wrong signal. So now we are good to go. Let's start do segmentation. We can press key A again to hide the XYZ axis. Now start by filter. So because the original confocal images are quite noisy, we can do some blurring to smooth out the signal, so that the subsequent steps will be easier. So usually we just need to do a Gaussian blur stock, yeah, one time, And then now we do surface detection. We go to morphology and S detect. It has some default parameters such as threshold, multiplier. Here is adaptation factor and fill value. You only need to care about the threshold. So we can test by changing the threshold values. It's now it's 10,000, but from my experience, okay, let's try here. So here using the 10,000 value, we see that the surface detection is not good. You have a lot of holes on the surface. Okay, so we need to go back and choose another threshold value. But you cannot choose now. For example, if I put 5,000 here and press it, now it doesn't work. So you have to come back to the main and to do the filter Gaussian blur stock again. Basically, you have to come back to the last step, and now you can add detect, and let's put 5,000. See that it's much better now. You have very few holes on the surface. Now you can either work with this by few holes. You see the few holes tool here. It will fill all the holes on the surface. For example, let's do it once and another time. Yeah. So now the surface looks much better. Or you can come back to the first step and do Gaussian blur stock, and then detect, and then you put lower threshold value like 4,000, and it's also good. So maybe few hole one more. Okay, you see that working directly with original stock, it gives kind of good surface detection, but you see that the surface is quite rough, not smooth at all. Because why? Because the signal is not really smooth, and on the surface of cells you have some noises. One way to have a really good surface detection is to smooth out the original stock before feeding it into MorphoGraphX, and I will show you how to do it. As I mentioned, we need to smooth out the original confocal stock somehow to reduce the noise a little bit. And here I am using the Ani filters tool developed by Mosaic team in the ENS Lyon. And this tool is fantastic because it reduces the noise quite well and retains the cell membrane or cell wall signals. I'm running the tool in virtual machine in Ubuntu. So to use it, you just need to put the path to the software and the path to the files you want to process. And here you have parameter. So from my experiments, this parameter works best and enough for cell segmentation. So let's press enter. So we will need to do this step for every single confocal stocks we want to do segmentation. So it's running with the first stock, and now I am running it with the second stock. Okay, so we have here the processed version of the stock, and I copy it to to the folder. So now we are working with these confocal stocks and not original stocks.